Hi everyone, today I'm going to do something a little different than the content I've been putting out. I'm going to do a live review of the PSG Rainbow Seven games from last night, or the series. I'm only going to be watching game one though. I watched the games live last night, and I left the games with a few feelings. So while the draft goes on, I'm going to talk about my feelings from the game last night, and we're going to talk about what I'm going to be looking for in this review right now. So last night, I felt that Rainbow Seven, really quick, just generally what I felt. Rainbow Seven lost these games. PSG didn't really win the games. I think Rainbow Seven came in, they tried to make plays, they made a lot of mechanical misplays, and through those mechanical misplays, they were punished by PSG, who just played the style where all they did was wait for Rainbow Seven to make mistakes, and then they won because Rainbow Seven made mistakes. I think PSG, from what I remember watching the games, the feeling that I left and went to sleep with was that Rainbow Seven, if they even made half of the mistakes that they made, they would have rolled PSG. PSG, if I was a PSG fan watching these games, I would not have been happy. Maybe I'd be a little happy because they won, but the way they won was very just sad. They just let Rainbow Seven kind of beat themselves out of the game, and that's what we're gonna try to figure out if what I felt was right. So, what are we gonna watch for? Watching Rainbow Seven during these games, we're gonna be looking for these mechanical misplays that I'm talking about. We're gonna be looking for these signs of nervousness. Are they missing these skill shots? Are they missing roam timings? Are they mispositioning in team fights in lane? Are they overextending without vision? What is going on here? Are they making these misplays that come from these nerves? That's what we're gonna be looking for Rainbow Seven. We're going to be looking for the mechanical misplays. We're going to be looking for the mistakes they're making throughout the game, whether it's macro or micro. But for PSG, what are we looking for? PSG, I want to actually look and see, are they actually doing anything proactive? And if they are doing something proactive, is it off of a mistake from Rainbow Seven? Do they ever actually make a proactive move unless Rainbow Seven makes a mistake? That's what I want to see. If they do, then I will say I'm wrong and PSG might be a team to look out for. But if we go through this series and I'm watching and PSG doesn't make a single proactive play until Rainbow Seven makes mistakes, then I'm still not looking forward to PSG. I still do not have faith in them to do well. And maybe that means them making it out of the play-ins and then going 0-5 in Swiss stage or 0-4 in the 4 games that they will play, because they cannot stand against teams that actually do things. So we'll see if I should be being this harsh to PSG or not. So real quick, looking at the drafts, looking at how these teams will match up into each other. You see, in the top lane matchup, I think Kennen will do pretty well into the Renekton. His range makes it really hard for the Renekton to do anything early. Mid lane, Talia I know gets early push on a lot of mid laners, but I also know Nico is a mid laner who's really strong in her trades and can make it really tough for mid laners to move. So the Nico might be a really good pick into the Talia here and can really lock the Talia in lane at least. We'll see if Talia can really get moving. The Talia wants to get out of lane, right? So this Nico pick into it, she's a lane bully. She's someone who can also push the wave back. We'll see if Talia can get the first push, but I think it might be tough. In the bot lane, Zyrakan, really good 2v2. Ezreal, Nautilus definitely have a little bit of burst damage. Might be a little surprising. Ezreal, I know if he's running PTA, can be really strong in lane if he's hitting these Qs, if he's hitting these abilities. So this is a lane that could go either way, but I think Zyrakan are stronger and should win in the 2v2. The junglers, Jarvan is definitely proactive early game jungler, right? You want to see Jarvan making moves in the map. In this game specifically, you definitely want to see the Jarvan influence the top lane matchup a bit. You want your Kennen to stay ahead of the Renekton. If the Renekton gets ahead here, it could definitely backfire for the Kennen, because he's really squishy. If the Renekton can get these stats where he can't get poked out of lane anymore and can win these all-ins, then Kennen is in a rough spot. So you want to see the Jarvan influencing that matchup for sure. And bot lane also, with Nautilus and the Rakan, that's Nautilus and the Rakan a bit of a counter. So you want to be around. Even though Zyrakan really strong in the 2v2, you definitely want to be there for the fights, make them a 3v3, and make it a lot better for Rakan's engages to work out if he has the follow-up of a Jarvan. Now for Rainbow 7, the Viego pick here, I think, is a little off base. You can see with the Talia, there isn't really a lot of setup for her in this team comp. You have the Nautilus hook and ult, and you have the Renekton stun. But besides those things, the Talia doesn't have any reliable way to set up her W combo. So, why is that? Why am I talking about the Viego here? Viego, you usually want to have a team comp, or people start building these Viego team comps now, where they have a extremely solid way to burst down one character. And you do have that in this Rainbow 7 comp with the Nautilus, with his ult. You have we're singling out this one target, and we're going to assassinate this target for the reset for Viego. And if they can pull that off, that's great. But like I said, that's really the only way. Renekton can EN flash W on somebody every 5 minutes, and maybe you could go for a kill there. But really, you have the Nautilus engage as your reliable way to find a reset for this Viego. So there's not really a lot of help for him right now. So in the early game, we'll see. I want him to match the Jarvan. You don't want to let this Jarvan get ahead, and you just want him to farm. When he gets to level 6, when he starts getting the ability to use these resets with his ult, we're just going to have to look for better team fights from Rainbow 7. I think you need to be able to mark this Kennen in team fights. You can't let him flank you. Kennen and Rakan too. Both of them flanking from 2 angles could definitely be bad. So you want your Renekton to stop one side of that, and your Viego to stop the other side, because Viego can gap close, hopefully get to the fight when Nautilus goes in. Or you can just group of 5 and try to run at one spot. That could be really hard because Xayah's really good at dealing with that, right? Xayah, Nico, they've really stopped this hard engage from the Nautilus coming out. So it's really up to Rainbow 7 to try to find a pick in this really weird team fight scenario and get this reset on Viego. We'll see how they do. First, what we're going to look at here is the jungle pathing from the 2 junglers, Adi and Junjia. Junjia is starting on bot side, while Adi is starting top side, no leash. So you can see the R7 bot lane, because of this leash, they get priority in their lane. And Junjia, he's either going to be looking for doing his Krugs here, a level 3 gank, possibly wrapping back around the bot lane. But R7 does have that ward to spot him out if he goes for something like that. And Adi is clearing his top side. PSG also sees this on their ward. And he'll be moving to the bot lane to try to push with this strong lane, where now they have this lead, right? So Junjia is looking to cover for the Kennen here, and Adi is looking to cover for his bot lane. So, because you can start seeing their bot lane is having really good trades, really pushing PSG in this whole time, and Adi can start to find a little bit of vision here, but he doesn't really they don't make any try to attempt to dive here or anything like that. You can even see Miryu had the push mid wave, so he could have came bot here. Actually, yeah, let's take a look. In like 10 seconds here, we're going to see Viego and Talia both recall in the enemy team's jungle, basically, right? So you can see Miryu gets this push mid lane, and he's Talia, this super fast passive. He can just ride this wall all the way down. But the timing isn't really there on the R7's bot wave to do that, so they all decide to reset. You can see, it's hard to see, but the wave that they had is already gone. If they started moving down, they would be hitting about Tribush, maybe now, and the wave would already be gone. So that would be just a straight up raw dive, which would be really hard to accomplish. So maybe if R7, instead of trying to push their leave so aggressively in the bot lane, if they kind of took the win and they pushed them back and then just let the wave sit and control it a bit more and control the timing, they could have had a dive here with the Talia and Viego bot lane. But it doesn't look like they are able to pull that off. So they go for the reset instead. That's fine. They get a really clean reset for all their laners. But you can see already, like I said, the Nico into the Talia, he has to buy a null magic resist, or null magic mantle for his first item, because he's scared of this Nico's trading. And maybe that's just where their advantages come from, just through pure lane advantages. But PSG, like I said, you have this Jarvan, all he's done is farm so far. All they're doing is taking these lane advantages and pushing. They do have good vision for the Kennen here, unless... But again, this is another thing from R7. They have good vision for the Kennen here, but it's all in river. And maybe that's something you have to predict, so it's hard to predict it. But the Viego and Renekton both have flash. Renekton's just sitting under his tower. There's a lot of lane to chase down this Kennen with Viego move speed, W. And I know Kennen has his E and his flash, but at least an attempt at his flash there when he's pushed up to the tower like that through a lane gank would have been beautiful. And Adi on a ward here. They do find Maple's flash, and Adi saves his flash off of it too. Junjia in the right spot to counter this gank, but again, this is once again PSG, nothing proactive. Woody does roam up in the case that Leon's was also roaming, but you can see he started the roam when the gank started. They see Adi on the ward about now. Woody is still walking bot lane at this exact moment, and now they see Adi on the ward, and then he finally starts to move, right? So, reactive, not proactive. Once again, Talia has no mana to push this last wave. Adi is on his Gromp, still doing his Gromp instead of walking bot right now. You have all your summoner spells on on your bot laners and your flash on Viego, and you're doing Gromp and then leaving. This is a missed opportunity for another gank on this huge wave. Especially when your bot lane wants to trade so aggressively, right? You can see they're not really getting as many aggressive trades right now, but they're still wanting to poke them under the tower, right? And Adi being near is very good. If Junjia does go for a gank here to try to bail out his bot lane, Adi is here. But instead, Junjia has this entire focus on the Kennen. He's just playing for the Kennen, getting vision control for the Kennen. And now, after this trade, again, look how close it is, right? One more skill shot lands from Rainbow 7, one less mistake, and that's a kill. And this Ezreal starts snowballing, right? Marius starts moving now. Adi's doing the dragon. I think that's fine. It's worse than if you took your bot lane with you to go get the dragon, because you would secure it. They would not fight it 2v4, or if they did, you could wipe them. So again, this is maybe dump the dragons, come bot and dive immediately. A little bit behind, just doing the dragon. So Adi farming is a great thing, but again, this is like, yeah, the Jarvan is coming to hover top, but you have first move. You have Nautilus hooking into a wall. Oh. This moment right here, Adi's farming Raptors. They have no vision in the river. And Miryu gets the push mid wave. You could just two-man walk top lane, be behind this guy before Jarvan sees you. And instead they're just letting this Kennen hit the tower for free. And they go for a play. And maybe if Leon hits his Hex Flash or whatever happened there, they get a kill for sure, right? So that's another mistake. Once again, that's two... It wasn't a huge mistake in the bot lane, but there's a couple missed skill shots on that possible 2v2 kill. And now Leon's is missing his Hex Flash, missing his hook, which also would have resulted in a kill. So half of these mistakes don't happen, and we are 1-0 R7 right now. First blood to either Adi or Talia. Hopefully. Maybe it's Nautilus. So first blood to R7 if they don't make half of the mistakes so far, right? Okay, so how's this set up? So Talia's going bot lane to catch these waves. She has TP. You have Bong and Renekton and Kennen in the top lane. Renekton definitely getting pushed in. So you have the push top lane, you have the push bot lane. Talia catching that wave, but you're pushed in mid lane. So Maple's only going to start moving about now. I think it might clean up those minions. You might start moving right now, right? You have the Jarvan and the Rakan with you. But R7 has their ADC here. You have your ADC in the bot lane. This is a really cocky play to go for to think you can win. You should know the timer on the Talia's TP. You should know she has TP. You should know she can TP to this fight. So you're completely opting into a 4v4 that's going to turn into a 4v5. And they don't even really have great setup. They have one ward in the river. And they don't have this cleared ward on the entrance from mid lane to jungle. So they'll see the Nico coming. You don't have that cleared at all. And you do have your Kennen coming in, but you don't have the flank from Nico really working. Let's see how PSG plays out. Let's watch Kennen and Nico, because it's going to be... You can see right now they have all their engage tools here, right? They have Jarvan EQ, they have Rakan with ult, they have Kennen, flash ult, Nico for her flashes coming up. We'll see if it's in time. These are all their engage combos. This is what you want for a team fight. But you don't have this Aya damage. So We know Kennen's going to come down from the top, and we know Nico's coming in from the mid lane bush here. But R7 gets the first pull on it. Hook right onto Junjia. And the Kennen ult really kind of whiffs, only hits one person. And then, like I said, the TP comes in from the Talia. Your Zaya's walking through mid lane, but Talia's already here, and she turns the fight when the Nico shows up. So R7, I love this. There's no hesitation. They know this is a winning play for them, so they immediately go in on the Jarvan. And the Jarvan and Rakan buy a lot of time. But the ult flash from Kennen is really pushed, and Adi just flashes away, and Maple does nothing but watch him flash away, saves his ult for when he's about to die. Thankfully, he doesn't flash. In this moment right here, when Adi flashes out, why is Nico not running at him with his ultimate? Is he scared? He sees the Weaver's wall coming, but he can just walk right at him. He throws a Q. The Weaver's wall is very low rank, doesn't go far. Really split play from PSG. Honestly, not that great of a play. Just a terrible play to go for. You don't have the positioning. You don't have the numbers. And your Xayah just comes mid to leave, so she doesn't even get plate spot lane. No cross map available because you used everything on this. Okay. From R7's side, though, this is a great play, right? We'll see that in a second. Like I said, R7, Leon's immediately onto the Junjia here. Ult everything, because they're like, the plan is to kill this guy, get the reset for the Viego. Flash away from the Kennen ult. Bong comes in, secures the kill on the Jarvan. And now you're like, okay, Talia has this 2-man. Let's hit this. Let's kill these 2 kills. Really good focus from them, right on the right targets. And then Seo, let's see what he does here. This is a huge greed. You need to be basing already, I think. And yeah, he just gets caught by the Kennen. So, a little bit of mistake from Seo. He gets caught out by this Kennen playing bush cheese tactics. Very good from the Kennen, though, to find something in this lost play. But a bit of a mistake from Seo. They just lose track of the Kennen here. You know the Kennen's full HP, so it should be a little scary. We don't have to watch the replay. We watched it enough. But once again, Junjia now looking for a gank, sitting in this bush. No camps up. Farmed his whole jungle. And he can't find anything. So, they are able to hold this dragon control and start it up. Adi, R7 is giving this up. So Adi's heading top lane with the Rift Herald. Try to get a little bit gold into this Renekton. I don't know how I feel about this play. I think it's fine to look for this. I don't think I would really want to use the Rift Herald here. I think you won't really want to use the Rift Herald on this mid tower. It's really strong to get the Talia out of lane. Maybe a little too obvious of a setup because the Renekton starts walking up a little bit differently. Maybe that's what Ozzy was able to read. But Adi with this Rift Herald, I really want to see in the mid lane here. Get the Talia out of lane. Get the Talia moving. Once the Talia can start shoving into this lane, the Kennen shouldn't be able to walk up like this. If this mid lane tower dies, then the Kennen can't walk up, right? So they do draw off the Rift Herald. It's going to get a couple of plates. The Rakan and Jarvan are nearby to stop anything if something were to happen. They just get the 2 plates and they're going top, but it's very telegraphed. They're just kind of holding the space, protecting the Kennen, right? And I think that's good for PSG. This is a fine play. This is a little proactive. I would say maybe it doesn't look so because they're not doing anything, but they're getting this vision. They're not getting any kills or objectives, but they're getting this vision. They're forcing R7 to respond to this vision with Leon's, which is big because R7's strong point is the Ezreal. So if you get the Ezreal to move away and start playing away from the Ezreal, that's very good. And R7 response here is really good. Put the Ezreal in the mid lane so no matter what happens, the Ezreal can be able to move there. Let's see what happens here. So I see PSG going into their jungle here, looking for a play on possibly looking to catch Mirio out in rotation. That's I think that's a really good look. You see the Ezreal showing up mid lane, so you're like, okay, maybe we catch the Talia on her move to bot lane if she's a little slow. Mirio makes it past, but it's a good look. And then they're like, well, we need to look for something. They see Adi on vision. They see him walking towards Waco, so they go on him with 2 no damage dealers. And Adi chooses to flash instead of use his ultimate at all. If he just ulted onto Junjie here, he's okay. So this is again like another mistake, right? We look at this right when he gets out of the CC. You have the Weaver's Wall coming in. You see your Nautilus hook coming in. It hits. You're doing damage. You see the Nautilus ult come out now. And that's just a bit of a panic flash, right? He's just scared because he's taking damage and he's low. But look at the advantage you have in this fight. Just go in. Just keep going in. Ult on top of him. Kill this guy, right? This guy is so fucking dead if the Viego just goes in. But instead he flashes away. He would have gotten... He could buffer the Jarvan ult a little bit with your Viego ult. I don't know if you would still take the damage. But what are you scared of if you die? You die here, the Nautilus ult coming on the Rakan, your team coming, you kill the Jarvan, you just run right through. Instead, your team's trapped in this Cataclysm because you can't kill the Jarvan fast enough. And Mirio just gets caught by the Rakan. And he gets really out of position. How does he get this far out of position? His Weaver's Wall, he comes in, he gets caught in the Jarvan ult. And Maple's TP is pretty good. It forces Sayo to back up, forces Adi to go in a weird direction. And Mirio flashes forward because of the TP behind him. I just can't help but feel like this is a little bit misplayed from R7 here. I think PSG played this pretty well. Looking for this, it's definitely... They felt like they had numbers advantage in the bot lane, especially if you're going on the Viego solo with 2 people. And Wacko moving. But they don't really have the damage to follow up, and Maple's TP is really late on it. If you're trying to go for this play, he should be TPing like almost instant, right? So, a little bit slow from Maple there. But overall, that's a good trade for PSG. You'd rather get that kill onto your 80 carry, even though R7 gets the kill onto... What happened here? Bong walks over, stuns, gets out. That's all. He loses his flash off that though. So that was a double TP that Bong had to stop. And he's able to get out with no flash. So support and jungle gank top lane and can't even get the kill on him. Kennen doesn't have his ult, but he has his flash. Maybe he could have looked for something there. I don't think he could have. He didn't have the cooldown, so he blows all his cooldowns here. Yeah, so that's just... Okay. Maybe not a mistake, but definitely... reactive to Bong forcing his flash, like using his flash to escape from having to get this TP. Again, a reactive play. Now, this play right here from Maple, really good. Sayo dies with flash up. Let's see the setup for this one. So, Maple walking around, has his flash. No, R7 wants to get this tower. Let's see. You have the Nautilus marking the top half of the map where Rakan, Jarvan, and Kennen are. And that's kind of where your focus is because you know they're there. So you're really focused on this top side. And the Nico in her W, stealth, flash, ult, engage. Miru and Adi can maybe buffer it at this point, but I still think from their end they do not see this. And so Sayo could also flash, but... If he flashes and doesn't have an E, you can see the Jarvan's already on the way. So do get one. And Sayo, that's a great play from Maple. This mid tower is dead anyways, so looking for a fight here is really good. That's definitely solid play from PSG. Again, punishing R7 for not having vision on the bot side, not knowing where this Nico is. So again, this ward here spots him walking into the jungle, and PSG sees him walking into the jungle, and they immediately want to go on him. So Adi again can use his ult at any moment here to get out. Instead, he's going to eat all of the CC. So if they can get a trade here, that'd be great. But Bong isn't here, and this is a 3v5. Sayo Mirio can't really do enough. So yeah, Adi just too aggressive. They don't clear the full vision, and they think they can walk up like that, and he just gets caught out in the jungle when he has no one coming with him. Like going that deep into the jungle, he has no one there to help him. Let's see one last time. Where are the lanes at? You do have the mid wave. The mid wave is crashing right now, right? So you know your AD carry can't move because the mid wave is currently crashing. They are hitting each other. The AD carry has to be there. Ezreal's there to push the wave. Talia is looking for the Weaver's Wall, so Talia can be there. Nautilus is walking around, making sure, trying to find vision and keep the space in Dragon, right? So you're just way too far forward as Adi here. And for what reason? Is he trying to place a control ward? Is he trying to steal the red buff? The red buff isn't even up yet. You should know, like, you see that on the map. Do they know he's on the Gromp? No. He's pinging that he's leaving. Nautilus goes in this bush and spots him. Leon just takes control of this area, and Junjia doesn't respect it and leave the Gromp fast enough. Because you're getting pushed in bot and mid now, and you're trying to do... He's doing this Gromp because he's pushed bot lane. But you start losing the mid push, and he decides to leave. Just a second too slow though from Junjia there. So he gets caught because he's where he... His Rakan is topside. Wait, actually, this is kind of ridiculous. Your Rakan is going topside to get vision solo, and you're still on Gromp. You finally realize, okay, Rakan's going in to do stuff. At least the Rakan's getting something now. So, Woody really good, getting vision control when your jungler is just completely out of position. I think the biggest thing here is, so far I'm noticing, is PSG has a lot better vision control than R7. R7 is missing a lot of these wards. PSG is kind of sneaking them through their vision. When R7 thinks they have vision control, they are walking over wards. That's 2 times so far this game, where Adi walked over one, and I think he's walking over a lot of wards, right? So they don't really have the vision control or the vision knowledge of what PSG might have for wards. So PSG definitely really good vision. Okay, let's look at this bot play real quick. I think this is a good look. So you know the Cannon has TP. Or you should know the Cannon has TP. It's a little scary because Nico ult is really hard to dive. But you have Renekton HP, and you hit the stun. You really easy to follow with the Talia. So this is, I would say, a comfortable dive. The second the TP comes out, they immediately go to leave. That's also great. Miryu missing this W. Not too impactful because they're leaving anyways. As he flashes over, Bong. Ton of healing from the Gora Drinker. Gets forward. That is super huge aggression from the Cannon, right? Thinking he could just flash over like this when Bong saved all of his cooldowns from this dive. And the first time they try to look for something a little aggressive, it goes really bad. Look at that. So let's look at what happens here. Adi gets some damage on Junjia in a really bad spot though. Neon has to look for a hook on Waco here if he wants to try to keep Adi alive, or look for something on Waco here, but Waco still has his Xayah ult, so it's really hard. He does find the hook. Really good ult from Junjia here to stop Sayo from being able to get through this. The minion wave is still up. That's actually kind of big because you can start cutting through the minion wave and really nullify some of this Ezreal damage coming through. So all the flashes come out from these first feathers. And then this is where I think they should start to get a little bit punished. Right here, when Woody goes a little bit too far. Junjia and Woody go together. Right here, Woody can E back to Junjia, which is what he's going to do. But Sayo just doesn't really have the damage here. And there's 5 walking right through 3 feathers. It's just complete lack of feather placement knowledge from Adi and Leon's. They try to walk right through the feathers there. And Waco's just completely lined up. I know they really want to get on Woody and Junjia here, but you can't walk like this against the Xayah. And they're just going to get turned on. Adi's going to die without using his ult. If he uses his Viego ult there, he lives for a second longer maybe, or at least gets the damage off. That's the second fight that Adi's dying with his ult up. But they do have wards. Sio's looking for these aggressive E's here. Okay, what is this setup? So the side lanes are completely abandoned here. Dragon is spawning and R7 wants to take PSG. They want to make PSG fight at least, or threaten the fact that if you go to Dragon, we're going to go to Baron. And with Leandri's completed on Talia, 2 items on Viego, 2.5 items on Ezreal. You don't like shred the Baron, but it goes pretty fast. So this is definitely a good threat, and this is where they have their vision, right? What they don't want here is PSG if they find a arguably 2 to 3 man, I would say even a 2 man if they get the right carries. Like if the Jarvan goes in on this exact frame and catches both Miryu and Adi, this could be a really bad fight for R7, right? Because you have the follow-up of Kennen has no flash, you know that. But you know Nico has flash, and she's coming in with her ult. Rakan's coming to lock people down, and Xayah has damage, right? So, how does R7 really want to play this then? They're kind of fishing, right? They're fishing for a Nautilus hook onto maybe Woody, Ozzy, Maple. Ozzy's not a great target either. You throw the ult up, makes it really hard. Maple, same thing, throw his ult up. But you're looking for these 100 to 0 on a Naut hook right here. And you're also looking for the Ezreal damage to land. So you got a lot of poke from the Ezreal. If the Ezreal can start landing this poke without getting hit back, we can get some big damage. See if we can find a pick, right? So see how it plays out. What the fuck happened here? They just think they can walk out of Xayah? Oh man, that's awful. Okay, so they see PSG taking their vision and they think, okay, it's time to take the vision of Dragon back. But Wacko is sitting here and he immediately is going to start hitting Adi. And it's really hard for R7 to engage once again because it is this Xayah pick. She has her ultimate, she has her flash, she has her cleanse. So the pop blossom over the wall and the immediate follow up from Woody. It's just R7 not respecting PSG. Yeah, they're clearing your vision, but they're literally 2 steps away, right? Like, you can't just blind walk into their vision still. And from this point in the game, it's really hard to play, right? This is probably the breaking point of the game. They can't end here. I think this game takes 28 minutes. But they can get the inhibitor, and then like they can just peel off to the Baron or the Dragon at this point. Yeah. That's tough, man. You hate to see this, right? Let's watch the official replay. Oh. No, let's go back and watch the fight then, actually. So he doesn't have flash, but he has his ult. Again, Adi has his ultimate ability once more, right? And he's going to die with it up again. This is another mistake. Yeah, it is really hard to see the Nico E here. I'm not expecting pretty much anyone. I'd be like, it's an incredible play if he can buffer this Nico E. But you're walking into blind vision in front of your tanks with your ult up. You better be ready to fucking use it. You know what I mean? Like, both of your tanks are walking right behind you. You wait half a second and Bong and Leons are eating this. And the fight doesn't go nearly as bad. From this point, is it even winnable? Not really, because Maple has his flash ult and he's going to zone out the Ezreal. You're getting damage onto the cannon is good, but the Xayah is untouched. Talia is getting... yeah. It's just a little bit impatience, maybe? A little bit... Like, it's just nerves, right? Like, Adi walking up like that, dying with his ult up again, not thinking about, like, hey... Yeah, I see them, but this is still blind face checking. I need to let my Nautilus and my Renekton go first. I can't do this first. I am squishy. Leon says flash. Miryu is there. Bong is walking up. They have the ult down. Why are they all not just flashing in here? Like... This is just getting too caught up and going for the Baron steal. You have flash on both the people next to the pit. Bong is walking up. Leon doesn't have ult. If he flashes in, he can't really do much. But you can wait a second. You have this wall up. You can wait for Bong to be right here. And now you can go in. Now both of them could have flashed in. And Miryu could have been walking with Bong instead of where he walked. there's a lot of ways to make that play work, and they couldn't find any? Okay, well, they try to pick up this dragon as... they go to the dragon afterwards, try to get it on the Baron reset. That's really hard to do. You definitely don't do it fast enough, especially if Miryu is not there. He's over here, zoning Maple. I think he just flashed that ultimate, so that's good. You got the Nico ult down for your flash. Not great. The Kennen flash is coming up. I don't know if they have the timing on that. That could be really scary. This is a stressful time, right? You might not be, okay, Kennen has flash right now. It's in the middle of a team fight, basically, right? So they're not going to remember that. So we're looking at the Kennen here. But the Nico ult being down is huge. Nico trying to solo ult the Talia off the thing just to get some pressure. Can they turn on Junjia right here when he comes out of the portal? That's what they have to be looking for, right? If they kill Junjia here, the whole team will split across. But we'll see. More people are probably coming through. Junjia, no hook gets him. He gets his stopwatch, gets his ult down. Bong. Blast Cone was a little buggy, but he hit the Blast Cone. Big damage on Junjia again. This Gromp is just blocking Ezreal damage, though. He eased the charm. It's more Qs. They're just running him over at this point, right? Like, they're just strong enough where they can do this. Just press their buttons and walk at them. Like, as long as PSG presses their buttons, they're winning at this point. So that's the first game. The second game, I'm not going to watch. I just wanted to watch this game. So yeah, watching that game, I don't know. I feel like validated a little bit after this review. I don't think PSG looks good. I still have the same problems with them. Their comp was really easy to run, or a lot easier to run. It had pretty obvious things. You're looking for the Jarvan EQ, you're looking for Rakan engages, you're looking for Nico, Kennen, big ults on team fights. Definitely required a little bit higher level of execution at R7. But I don't really care about that. That's not the point I want to make with this video. I'm watching this PSG talent team do nothing the entire game. They are doing literally nothing the entire game but reacting. They're doing nothing proactive. As soon as they face a team that makes proactive plays that work, that they're doing them instantly, they do not react fast enough either. They're behind on their reactions. Rakan is walking out of base, doesn't go mid until he sees them. They're not predicting it. They're purely looking at the map and then moving, right? They're not even... Some of the plays are a little predictive. You can see Jarvan covering out bot lane push, covering top lane vision, but those aren't really predictive plays. They're more like planned plays. The push out on the bot lane is one thing, but we knew that Jarvan's playing for top lane this whole time. We know that Jarvan's playing, pushing his vision control, getting vision control for him so the Kennen can press his advantage, right? And then yeah, if R7 makes like half the mistakes that they made, I think this is a winnable game for them. Maybe they crumble a little bit in the late game, but once they fall behind in that one fight, it's kind of over, right? And they don't have avenues to get back into the game with the champions they picked. And the second game is a bit more of the same. I think the second game is even worse in terms of nerves and mistakes from R7, especially in their bot lane. You can see their bot lane gets a huge lead again in the 2v2. Maybe not like a gold lead, but they get the 2v2 fighting lead, and they're just not able to come up with anything. And they start making a couple mistakes. Leon's, I've definitely, watching these games now, it seemed like as this game went on, he got a little bit more comfortable and was making a little bit better decisions, playing a little bit more mechanically well. But at the start of the game, right, we saw his Hex flash into a wall and hook into the wall and he couldn't even get over. He does something very similar in game 2. He's hitting hooks on minions, and I think twice in the bot lane fights, where if he is just hitting the tip of this minion that's about to die right in front of him, and if he instead doesn't hit that and he just actually hooks a target, they're win fights for R7. So that's tough. It's rough. We'll see how R7 bounces back, right? I still think this team, looking at them, they made a lot of mistakes. And I keep saying that. Mistakes. So if they aren't making these mistakes, this is still a really good team. Look at this game. Look how different this game looks if they didn't make these mistakes, right? And this is PSG, the favorites of play-ins. So we'll see how they have to bounce back in the losers bracket. If they see what they're doing. If they are like, okay, hey, we just ran it, let's be comfortable now, and they're comfortable from now on, then they can still make it through. But if they completely crumble off this, they could be out in the next game. PSG, I don't care if they win play-ins, man. They're not going to do shit. They're going to go 0-4 in the Swiss bracket if they make it. So, doesn't matter.